Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga / C60. C60 Purple Power and the gummies. Coffee. Yeah, you got to get your body ready for the battle. We're in it. We're in the battle. You got to get your body ready for it. You can't hide from this shit. It's everywhere. It's in the food you eat. It's in the air you breathe. It's in the water you drink. It's everywhere. You need to take care of your body. That's my spiel. Don't forget, I am transferring over to Rumble. By the end of the year, hopefully, probably a couple months into the new year, I will be on Rumble exclusively. So make sure you sign up at Rumble. Go to Road to Ruta. There's a Bix Weir old Rumble. Don't worry about that one. Do a search for Road to Ruta, all one word. And then you can follow there. Just subscribe to my channel. There's stuff I can't talk about on YouTube there, so go check that out. It was really eye-opening being kicked off YouTube for a week. Eye-opening again. It's happened a couple times before. I had 2 strikes once, which I just shut down the channel for a while. Yeah, censorship is not good. Why do you think all your lefty crazy friends don't believe what you're saying? Because of censorship. That's the way they do it. That's how the game is played. Lots going on in silver right now. Like I've been saying for a long time. This year is the year of delivery behind the scenes, the OTC delivery. The Bank of America, who built up a 1.2 billion ounce position in OTC derivatives for silver. The OCC is a regulator. It's even in their own data. They have no explanation for it. That's their job. Why do you think they record that kind of data? It's to look for anomalies, to see where the crimes are being committed. The CFTC is a ridiculous joke. A bigger joke is Patrick Duffy. Patrick Duffy, the head of the CME group, the COMEX, came out and said, oh my God, I knew FTX was a con. Well, here's the deal, Patrick. You run the biggest con of all. The COMEX is self-regulating entity. SRO. They're supposed to regulate all the players. Give me a frickin' break, Patrick Duffy. You're the biggest criminal of them all. Yes, of course FTX is a crime in process. Of course it's run by people behind the scenes of Sam Bankman-Fried. I'm going to show you an article showing who it is. Guess who it is? Bitfinex and Tether. Duh. They're running the con behind the scenes. These little kids didn't do anything. Who's running the con behind the scenes? It's the crypto cabal, the pedo cabal, as I call them. They're running the game. I'm going to show you an article on that. But anyway, the same thing happens on silver, with silver. What were they trying to do? At FTX, they're setting up an exchange with a derivative arm and a lot of shady dealings in the middle. Creating tokens out of thin air, trading more tokens than are even possible to trade. It's the same thing going on the COMEX, on the New York Stock Exchange. They just tried to get in the game of guys like Patrick Duffy, who are authorized riggers. How do you think Virtu Financial, that sneaky, underhanded, high-frequency trading firm, they went 5 years without a loss? Because it's rigged. The whole game is rigged, and you're not part of it. Apparently, the guys at FTX were not part of it. Behind the scenes, Tether, I heard they were laundering, 55% of Tether. And we all know Tether's a con run by the deep state and the CIA and all that. We've been talking about this for years. This is the big one I've been waiting for in cryptos. The washout. When you see Tether go, when you see Bitfinex go, when you see, obviously FTX is already gone. The FTX derivative market, LedgerX, that the CFTC gave their stamp of approval. When that goes, the CFTC is gone, which is great because the CFTC clearly isn't doing anything because silver's trading at $21. That's 40% of its all-time high for 1980. How much money has been printed since 1980? And don't tell me, oh, that was the Hunt brothers rigging the price. The Hunt brothers had about 110 million ounces on the COMEX. JP Morgan had 1.2 billion ounces, 10 times that. So who's rigging the market really? Who knows how much they have? Well, they still have. You look at the OCC derivatives, the off-market derivatives, JP Morgan's still the biggest holder. Now you can't see it anymore because the OCC is hiding that data. Because the number 2 guy at the OCC is a JP Morgan guy. The number 2 guy at the CFTC is a JP Morgan girl, Kristen Johnson. Yes, the same one that came out and said, never let a good crisis go to waste. A good crisis. Everybody who lost money and cryptos in the FTX debacle, go to Kristen Johnson of the CFTC and say, why did you call it a good crisis? No answer. It's a joke. The whole thing's rigged. Anyway, here's what's going on in silver. They had a big 2 million ounce input into the COMEX silver. Now, why did they do that? Obviously, we have a delivery month right in front of us. That means they didn't have 2 million ounces that they're going to need. I keep an eye on Bank of America. I've been screaming this. This should be a pretty good delivery month, but Bank of America, they have to deliver 385 million ounces to close out their derivative position. Of course, they can do it with derivatives, but there's also a silver component, a physical silver component. You can see it from the data back in, well, let's take a look at the data. Why not? Okay, here we go. Where is Bank of America? Silver Bank of America. Oh, by the way, if you want to know who made this delivery, this little 209,000 silver delivery at the end of the month, who waited so long to be at the end of the month? HSBC. Right there. They waited to the end of the month, meaning they had to pay storage or they didn't have the metal. I'll guarantee you they didn't have the metal. They still need to deliver. There's still some left, believe it or not. 168 contracts. Not a lot, but it's something. And we don't have any, you're screwed. We have 5 trading days left for the December delivery. We're still at over 200 million ounces. That's kind of high. I don't think they're sweating because like the last few days, they'll just literally roll over everything they can. But I think it should be kind of a significant delivery month, maybe. Who knows? We had a lot of EFPs going off, which is exchange for physical, basically settling on the LBMA, the London Bullion Market Association. It's not even an exchange. It's fraud, it's criminal, but hey, it is what it is. Get your metal into your own possession. Go to your local coin shop today. Don't wait for the December deliveries. That's going to be the bankster world. I would imagine if Bank of America has any silver derivatives left by the end of the year, they will slam the price as low as possible for mark to market. So keep an eye on that by the end of December. Remember, price means nothing. Nothing. Price is determined by this bullshit. This is the volumes on the COMEX. Average this month, about 100,000 contracts, which is 500 million ounces. They only mine 800 million ounces in a whole year, and yet the COMEX on a daily basis trades 500 million ounces. That's insane. Every single day on average. That's insane. So anyway, that's what's going on. Again, keep an eye on Bank of America. And here's where the last delivery month was back in September. Look what they did in September. 5,199 contracts. I thought the limit was 5,000 contracts. No, it's 20 million ounces. They're way over the limit here. So that means they're getting a special exemption from the CFTC. They love to give special exemptions. Why? Because they're on the side of the criminals. When did they last do this? Right back here in December. 5,000 contracts, special exemption. So I think December, you're looking at over 5,000 contracts by Bank of America. And that theoretically, because all these silver leases they put on the OCC data, they were all 1-year leases. So they either have to roll them over or they got to finish the deliveries this year. And then who knows? Then what's the next con to run on the COMEX? Will JP Morgan be past its time? So it's on double secret probation right now. I think it's till the middle of next year, till September of next year. Can they drag it on? It is so embarrassing that the United States of America has to do this just to keep the system alive. That's my country. And they think the world doesn't know. Everybody in silver knows the price of silver has been suppressed. They just don't know how long. It's been 170 years. That's why I'm screaming at everybody. Go to your couch, lift up the cushion, get all the change you can find under there, and go down to your local coin shop and swap it for the cheapest silver you can get. I'm a big advocate of pre-65 coinage. Any coinage, U.S. coinage, even the 50 or the 40% coinage, because the pre-65, the premiums are up at $10. Why is that? Because everybody wants to get their hands on what the U.S. Mint has made, because that will be the money of the future. That's why they put the little notch at the bottom of the silver eagles. They're preparing for a new future, a new monetary system. They've been preparing for it for over 100 years. That's why the Fed put out those documents back when I found them in 2007. The Road to Ruta documents, 3 documents. One is a comic book called Wishes and Rainbows. And people say, Bix, you're reading too much into that comic book. Number 2 was a teacher's guide to the comic book that explains exactly what I talk about. And number 3 is a pamphlet called Banking Basics. And in Banking Basics, it shows a girl walking up to a teller with a chart on the wall, as in what's the price of gold, with 19 gold coins, swapping it in at a bank for dollar bills or vice versa. They've known about this for so long, over 100 years. Yes, I do think that good guys have a plan in place. It's just getting to that spot. And if we delay it longer, there's a bigger chance that we won't get it done. So I think everything's happening. December, January, February. I've been in this game a real long time, and I feel better now than I ever felt. It won't go on forever, but you want to be in the moment it ends. The moment JP Morgan goes down, or HSBC, or any of the too big to fail banks. That moment is the moment everything freezes. Stock market, bond market, no checking account, no savings account, nothing. You might say, how is that possible, Bix? It's possible because JP Morgan has $60 trillion in derivatives trying to hold this game together. And every single bank is connected to the other bank. And they're all fractional reserve, meaning for every dollar they get in as a deposit, they can lend out 10. Fractional reserve banking, all of them. That's great when money's going out and you're buying houses and everything's going great, because all the money goes into the same spots. But when everybody tries to sell the same assets because they're panicking, it happens bang like that. Bang. Keep an eye on it. All right. Really interesting article. China said to be mystery buyer of gold, stockpiling gold to cut dollar dependence. And they're talking about 400 tons of gold. This is nothing. 400 tons of gold is nothing. Nothing. They lie. It has long been known that China is taking a minimum of 2,000 tons of gold off the market every year, and has been for the past, since Jim Sinclair started saying it years and years and years, decades ago. That's how much gold is out there. Do the math. 2,000 tons a year for the last 40 years, 50 years. You might say, Bix, there's not that much gold in the world. Of course there is. You've been lied to about gold. Who owns all the gold? Anybody wanting to go back to a gold standard? The bankers. I think the government. I think the U.S. government owns the vast majority of gold. In the Grand Canyon, at Chocolate Mountain, all over the United States. Up and down the Colorado River. Why do you think they built those dams? What are they hiding under the water? Placer gold, which is gold in the sand. You've seen that shows in Alaska where they just dig a thing of sand out and they process it and they sluice it, and then all of a sudden you have massive amounts of gold in that. They're just digging holes in the sand up in Alaska. Everywhere they go, they find gold. So yeah, do not invest in gold, please. I love it. I love the concept of gold. The problem is, there's 2 problems. Number 1, if you understand gold, and that means you understand scarcity and the concept of fiat money and all that. If you understand that, then why don't you apply the same metrics to silver? on the planet, according to the mainstream, there's about 6 billion ounces of silver available. That could be if we melted our fillings and everything like that. 6 billion ounces available. In gold, same thing. If you melt your fillings down, there's about 6 billion ounces. That's a 1-to-1 ratio, my friends. And we don't need gold. The bankers need gold, they think, because they want to go to some kind of gold standard. We don't need it. We absolutely need silver. You wouldn't be watching this show if we didn't have silver in all the electronics that it takes to make a computer, to send it out over the internet, for the servers, for the hubs, for everything. Silver is in little bits, in little tiny pieces, and everything. That's why it's so important to rig the price. And that's what's ending. So get your silver. If you have gold, I'm sorry, it's time to swap it for silver. You can get 85 ounces. Well, you can't anymore because silver's not really $21. That's just the COMEX price. Try to swap your gold for silver at $21. See what happens. You'll probably get 70, maybe 60 to 1 because the price is wrong on the COMEX. It's a fraud. Speaking of frauds, great article. You want to understand what's going on with FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried and all that and the people behind it. Who are the people behind these kids that were running this thing? Where'd they get their funding? How do they run their scam? Were they creating coins out of thin air? Of course, every exchange does, just like every stock market does, every bond market. There's mass rehypothecation of everything. But who funded it and who was running the computer programs? So FTX was like helping startups and then destroying them, shorting them on their own exchange and then destroying them because they controlled the amount of coins that they would get the code and code in. It looks like an on-chain transaction and poof, they destroy these companies because they could short them. Great crypto companies have been destroyed by FTX on purpose so they make more money and they centralize their power. That's all part of what goes on at Bitfinex and Tether, supported by the CIA and the U.S. government, 100%. Remember, I had a guy, and I showed this a long time ago, who went to Puerto Rico, to the crypto cabal over there, came back and he said, yeah, I met with some people at their compound over there, and they had dogs all around the perimeter. On the dogs' badges, it said Homeland Security, United States Homeland Security. That's how deep this goes. Anyway, you want to learn more about it, go to revolver.news, Revolver, and just type this in. FX on steroids, is Tether the Biden world's crypto BCCI? Check that out. It goes through who these guys are, down to people I can't talk about anymore because I got, they sent me a cease and desist. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to talk about people anymore. But it's all kind of out in the open. All you got to do is put the pieces together. Go check it out. I'll talk more about that over on Rumble. And really interesting, Bernstein of Grayscale. Grayscale is now claiming, oh, no, we're fine. Bernstein says Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is protected from fallout at sibling company Genesis Global. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Why even come out if it's not a problem? Yeah, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust will be gone. Genesis Global was ridiculous to start with. But so many of my friends bought into this yield farming. Yield farming is ridiculous. It is stupid. The whole concept is stupid. Oh, lock up your coins with us and we'll pay you interest. Where's the interest come from? Where does the interest come from? It's so sad to see crypto people get greedy. I don't want my coins just sitting there. It's like gold. It's just sitting there. It's not earning anything. I'm going to lock it up with someone else to earn a yield. Not your keys, not your coins. I don't care how nice the people are. Not your keys. You will lose your coins. You will lose your coins if you do not hold your own keys in your own possession. Our friends over at Theta, by the way, Theta's down to 84 cents. I can't say screaming buy because it is. Theta is still doing everything right. But hey, do what you got to do. But on December 1st, the meta chain comes in, which is the ability for any company to create a subchain, their own chain on the Theta blockchain. So Amazon can have the Amazon chain. But the reason companies don't do that is they'd be in charge of processing transactions. This way, it goes to the Theta group of validating, the validators and the guardians. So you got the validators. There's going to be probably, I don't know, 30, 40 of them. I think there's 25 or so now. They validate it to make it fast, right? They can do it just instantly. You've done a Theta transaction. You know, these are like instant transactions. But how do you keep them from colluding? That's why you have the guardians. The guardians are thousands of people checking up on the 5 or the 25 that are approving transactions. Amazing way to do it. Brilliant. And now everybody can start their own chain on the Theta meta chain. So Apple will be doing it. Samsung and Sony will be doing it. They're already part of it. Google will be doing it. Everybody will be making their own chain because we have no other choice. We can't rely on the government money anymore. It's not viable. Sorry, the U.S. government's going to have to go back to gold and silver because nobody trusts them. Nobody around the planet trusts the United States anymore. As well, you shouldn't. We've been lying, cheating, and stealing for so long. For decades. Lying, cheating, and stealing. So I don't know how this is all going to shake out. I think there'll be a different kind of government in the United States of America. I don't know what it'll be. Obviously, it'll be much smaller. If you have a government job, you're one of 30 million government jobs, directly or indirectly, like 10% of the population works for the government. That was not how it was supposed to be. It's insane what the government has taken over. We're a republic. We're not a democracy. We are a republic. In a democracy, 51% of the people can vote to kill the 49%. In a republic, it's up to the individual. Individual rights supersede everything. All right, that was my little jaunt off my high horse. Yeah, go to the private road if you guys are interested in the behind-the-scenes stuff. Also go to Rumble for other stuff, but most of the stuff that I can't talk about is going on the private road at Road to Ruta. All kinds of great stuff. You can see right here. I can't say anything on YouTube, but you can see it. Great discussions with Jenny Moonstone every week about what's going on, the hot topics. Andy Sheckman, Miles Franklin, by the way. If you don't have a local coin dealer, send Andy Sheckman an email, andy@milesfranklin.com or info@milesfranklin.com. He'll send you a pricing list, and you can take care of it right over the phone and have it delivered to your front door. Very important. My friend Dick Allgaier, I need to get in touch with Dick. He's freaking out, obviously, because of all the crashes. It's hard to go, especially at his retirement age. He was rich a couple months ago, and now he's like in the poorhouse with everybody else. It's hard for him. It's taxing, but he's been through a lot with when he bugged out of Hawaii and all kinds of shit. So great guy, the best remote viewer on the planet, by the way. Really interesting stuff about the death of the dollar. Go check that out. That's an interesting discussion. And then Will Lair, we talked about the Queen and when silver will moonshot. Fun stuff. Again, the Jenny Moonstone discussions. Jenny is awesome. Yeah, we go through all kinds of great stuff. Go check that out on the private road at Road to Ruta. And you can get on there by subscribing, 1-year membership, and we send you one of these to your front door. Ruta Lives coin, coolest coin ever made, ever. This is Bix. I'll talk to you later.